Hi, everybody.
Hello there.
Jerry.
Linda.
And Gizmo.
Hi, Betty.
We're the Village's newcomers, and we've got a show for you today to answer that question that many people across the country have, and we get it all the time. People watch our videos and then write me a note or a question or a comment. You may see it. Where are the villages?
Right.
Well, today's show is going to show you where they are. But first, let me ask you a question. Alexa, who's the greatest football player of all time?
Based on the numbers, Tom Brady is the best NFL player of all time. In his 21-year career so far...
Those of you that have Alexa just heard that Tom Brady is the greatest football player of all time. Just thought I'd have a little fun with that. We got comments that anytime I mention Alexa, they start going off in your homes.
And he's here in Florida now.
That's right. He's on Tampa Bay. But today we're going to show you major cities, airports, beaches, major attractions. And we're going to tell you just how far they are so you won't have to wonder. Here is the villages. The northern border of Florida, all the way to the south. Here's the villages. It's 500 miles from north to south in Florida.
Wow.
From the northern border to the southern. That's a long way. Now, the wide point near Orlando, which is what we care about, it's about 110 miles from coast to coast. So where are the villages? The villages are about an hour northwest of Orlando. Now, if you were at the Georgia line heading south, the villages is about 150 miles from the Florida-Georgia line. Or is it Georgia-Florida line?
Let's call it Florida, Georgia.
I know, I think there's a country music group. What is it? Anyway, you'll tell us in the comments. And the villages is just about in the middle of the state. And by the way, when I say is the villages, or should you say are the villages?
Are the villages.
Because there's more than one, right?
Right.
No. The Villages is the name of our city. The Villages. So when you're talking about the villages, you should say is. It sounds funny, but if we were talking about all the villages in the United States, we'd say are the villages, blah, blah, blah. But it's one, so is the villages.
Gotcha. All right. Learned a lesson.
Just a little teacher business there. So today's object is to show you where it is, because we kind of thought it would be easy. Hey, we'll go to the beach. Let's go to the beach. Want to?
Yeah. When we're going to
It's not easy to get to the beach. Today we plan to show you just how far it is from the villages to major cities, to
beaches,
to airports, to attractions. So I hope this comes in handy for you. Let's start with the airports. That's how people get here often. Florida is a destination that many people drive to, especially if you live on the East Coast. But there are airports, and there are 4 that are within an hour and a half drive of the villages. So we're going to show you these, and we'll also show them to you on a map, and you can kind of get an idea. We'll start with the one that we use most often, and that is MCO.
which stands for Orlando International Airport.
Orlando International Airport is 1 hour and 6 minutes by car. We just went there 2 days ago. It is, the best way to get there is across the toll road, the Florida Turnpike. Orlando International Airport. From where we live in the villages on the Turnpike to the airport and back takes $11.60 in tolls. No, not each way. $5.80 each way.
Okay, gotcha.
By the way, all the numbers that we give you today are just our ideas. You may find them to be different. They could raise rates, etc. The times could take longer for you to get there. But it's 62 miles, 61.8 miles to Orlando International Airport.
Another airport people commonly come into is Tampa Airport, the international airport, and it is 87.2 miles away, which takes about an hour and 28 minutes.
Sometimes, and especially during crowded times, holiday times when people are coming to Disney World, flocking into Orlando, we'll use Tampa. The time to actually get there is pretty convenient because it's straight, it's mostly highway, and there are no tolls. Tampa International Airport. Another airport that many people use, and mainly use this airport because it's where Allegiant flies. Allegiant is an airline that puts a lot of really low fares out there. Of course, then you pay for your seat assignment, you pay for your carry-on luggage, you pay for your checked luggage. But a lot of people are using it, and that is called the Orlando Sanford International Airport. It's near Sanford, Florida. It's northwest of Orlando. Sanford International Airport. It's still a short trip, 1 hour and 23 minutes, and it's about 79 miles. Another airport that we use from time to time is Gainesville Regional Airport. It's about 71 miles up the road, no tolls. Gainesville Airport. It takes about an hour and 20 minutes to get there. We have used it. It's a small airport. I believe it only has 3 gates, but American Airlines flies in and out of there, and we fly American from time to time. So Gainesville, if I can go there, I like to go there. It's easy in, easy out, very convenient for us. To get from the airport to the villages or from the villages to the airport, you can take your own vehicle. You can park it there. That's a little bit expensive. Unless you pay premium, your car is going to be parked outside. You might forget where you parked it, like we did one time. But we like to take the villages transportation, and there are several companies that are competing for your business. They range from $35 for shared trips to $100, for private vehicles. But the one that I'm going to mention today, and I only mention this because I like what they're doing, is Groom Transportation. We don't get paid nor any kind of compensation, but they offer free transportation to active duty military, and I think that is a wonderful thing. Mm-hmm. Our 3 sons are military, and that comes in handy. They're offering $19 round one-way trips. They are offering $19 one-way trips to or from Orlando International Airport. You're in the villages. You knew you were coming to Florida. You anticipated the white sandy beaches, but you didn't find any here in the villages. So you want to go. Where do you go? The most famous beach in Florida is probably Daytona Beach. Daytona Beach is 75 miles from here, and it's not interstate. It's kind of a trip to get there. It takes about an hour and 49 minutes, maybe up to 2 hours. Daytona Beach. So it's not right close, but Daytona Beach is one that is accessible from here.
Another beach that's very famous is Clearwater Beach, which is on the Gulf side. It takes about 1 hour and 58 minutes. It's 104 miles away.
Clearwater Beach.
And it's a great beach.
It is. We've been there. We've been to Daytona. We've been to Clearwater. By the way, these numbers we're giving you came straight off of Google. So, we didn't go out and measure these. That's where we're getting our information. Now let's go to the shark attack capital of Florida.
Ooh.
That's what I was told. If you live in New Smyrna, or if you're the mayor, don't be mad at me. I don't know that for sure. But New Smyrna Beach. New Smyrna Beach is about 2 hours from here, 1:53 on a good day, 1 hour and 53 minutes. New Smyrna Beach, about 77 miles. It's on the east coast of Florida.
Bradenton Beach is another really nice beach. It's on the Gulf side. It's 128 miles away. It takes about 2 hours and 16 minutes. And I hear it's a very beautiful beach.
Melbourne Beach. I don't think I've been there.
Heard about it.
It's 2 hours, 20 minutes away, give or take. about 126 miles. Melbourne Beach. It also is on the East Coast, on the Atlantic Ocean, and I've heard it's a very nice beach.
Cocoa Beach is on the East Coast, and it's kind of famous for the astronauts in the, what is that area over there?
No.
Cocoa Beach?
No. It's famous because that's where I Dream of Jeannie lived.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Major Nelson and Major Healy
yeah,
and
they
Jeannie.
live there, right? And
Yeah.
Jeannie. Well, anyway, it's 110 miles away, 1 hour and 57 minutes, almost 2 hours.
Yeah, it's real close to where they do the space launches.
There you go.
Cocoa Beach. Not really a beach, but a place we like to visit for water sports. It's where you can see the manatees. It's where you can do some exploring in the river. Crystal River, Florida. Crystal River is on the Gulf side, and it's the closest of these attractions. It's only an hour away. It's only 42 miles. Crystal River. It's down Highway 44, which goes right through the villages here. It's an easy trip, and we've gone to Crystal River on multiple occasions, and we highly recommend that.
Amelia Island is on the East Coast, and it's up near Jacksonville. It's 167 miles away. It takes about, 3 hours and 4 minutes to get there. I hear a lot about Amelia Island.
Well, we went there.
I don't.
Remember, you have the shirt that says Kayak Amelia?
Oh,
That's
yes.
where we went
That's the
kayaking.
first time we ever went kayaking. I was so scared, but I did love it.
I know, our Navy son was showing us how good he was on the kayak, and he wiggled when he should have waggled, and he ended up upside down in that kayak.
We laughed all day.
That was the high point of the trip right there. Thanks, son. The final beach that we'll mention today is Sanibel Island. We've been to Sanibel Island. It's a beautiful place. It's near Fort Myers, which I will point out to you in just a few moments, but about 230 miles from here, 3 hours and 45 minutes to Sanibel Island. Sanibel Island. Sanibel Island's a beautiful place.
The largest city near here is Orlando, which is about an hour away, 56 miles, and we fly often into Orlando.
Gainesville. Gainesville is North Florida. It's about an hour and 12 minutes from here, 67 miles.
Jacksonville is on the East Coast. It's 135 miles, about 2.5 hours away.
Jacksonville. St. Augustine. Now, St. Augustine's on the Gulf. It's south of Jacksonville, known as the oldest city in the United States.
Wow.
This was a Spanish settlement many years ago. Also, I have heard that that's where a lot of people think that the Fountain of Youth was located, but we know that's false because it's right in the villages.
It is.
St. Augustine's 2 hours and 22 minutes from here, 101 miles. St. Augustine.
Fort Myers is on the Gulf side, south of Tampa. It's 198 miles, about 3 hours and 8 minutes away.
Fort Myers. Pensacola. Pensacola is up in the Panhandle, far west part of Florida. We've been there many times. That's the home of the Blue Angels. An incredible flight demonstration team. We love those guys. It's a long drive from here. We got a buddy that lives right up by there. And his name is Buddy.
Yeah.
5 hours and 48 minutes by car to Pensacola. 405 miles. That is a long trip. Pensacola.
But we can do it someday.
I don't know. There's your favorite spot.
Oh.
Up in the Panhandle.
Destin. Destin was an easy way to get when we're living in Indiana. Destin was a good drive for us, about a 10-hour drive. But from here, it's 367 miles, which is about a 5-hour drive. 5 hours and a half, actually.
Destin.
Destin.
Yeah, one time if you've stayed with us, you're going to know some trivia here about the newcomers. We were almost the Destin newcomers. We really like that area. We love to go out there on the boats and play with those dolphins, and that's beautiful up there.
Oh, white sandy beaches there. Yeah.
We were afraid of the hurricanes, and one hit, boy, and just tore that place up a little more than a year ago. So that's the main reason that we kept coming down south of the villages. Final city that we're going to mention in Florida is Tallahassee. About 3 hours and 18 minutes north, according to Google, 212 miles. Tallahassee. A lot of people that come to Florida come here for the attractions. And a lot of those attractions are close to the villages. And that's one of the strengths here. But again, what is close? It's a relative term. About an hour.
An hour.
And Walt Disney World, for example. And when you say Walt Disney World, you can say Epcot and the Disney Animal Kingdom. And you could say Universal Studios. And you could say SeaWorld. And
Busch Gardens.
No, Busch Gardens is in Tampa.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. But they're about an hour away. Just 1 hour from here. Unless you get traffic problems. And the closer you get to Orlando, the more likely that is. But it's an hour, 56 miles to the Magic Kingdom. And the Disney area. Tampa Bay, we mentioned Busch Gardens. We like Busch Gardens. We went there on our honeymoon. 1978.
A long time ago.
Yeah. It's an hour and 19-minute drive, 77 miles. It's an easy drive, though. It's an easy hour and 20-minute drive or so, 77 miles.
Tampa is about an hour and 20 minutes away, 80 miles. And it's a charming little town with a lot of Greek heritage, the Tarpon Spring area where divers would get sponges and all kinds of neat things. And great Greek food there.
Yeah, we went to Tarpon Springs not long ago, 6 months ago. It is a neat place. Ybor City, a lot of Cuban influence in the Tampa area, I think, and Greek as well. So those are the major cities that we're going to mention today. There are others, you know, if you want to go to the Florida Keys, that's a long drive. Florida Keys are a 5-hour drive from here.
Wow.
Yeah. The Everglades. Everglades is cool. I mean, I'm a nature boy, so I like the Everglades. Everglades is about 300 miles. It takes about 4.5 hours to get there if you wanted to go to the Everglades. West Palm Beach, we didn't mention. That's over 200 miles and about 3 hours, 3:15 from here. So that's just a look at what some of the things are that you may want to go to. We hope you've enjoyed this look at just where the villages are. Just remember, we're in Central Florida. We're about 150 miles from the Georgia line. We're not near the coast. We're pretty close to the middle of the state, maybe a little closer to the Gulf than we are to the Atlantic. But it's going to take you a couple of hours to get to a beach.
Right. Until next time.
We'll see you when you get here.